President, continuing the workings for the Liberian people. Wherever you're listening, however you're listening to this press briefing, we'd like to welcome you, to those in the diaspora, to those following their radio, those in the counties. We'd like to welcome you to this edition of our weekly press briefing. Our president would like us to have you informed that he continues to work in the interest of the Liberian people, and earlier this week he began working to continue the appointment and ensuring that he invites Liberians who are qualified to help with the implementation of their rest agenda, continuing with the Ministry of Internal Affairs. There were a number of appointments over there, as well as the Governance Commission. And those appointments were all in the interest of ensuring that those who come to government are coming with the interest of serving. During the course of the week, something that the president is very excited about, especially in relations to the groundbreaking ceremony of the 2 overhead pass bridges that will be constructed, or that is ongoing as we speak, by the government and people of the People's Republic of China. This intervention, as you all know, started long ago, and during the reign of President Sirleaf. At the time, our current president was the vice president. And part of the construction of the ministerial complex, the overhead pass should have been constructed. However, due to challenges, but it took quite a while. After the elections of our president, he did visit China, but prior to the visit, he did write the Chinese president and inform him of his presidency and his elections to the office, and really looking forward to re-engagement on our bilateral relations, and righting the wrong of some things that happened in the past. And then the Chinese president, President Xi, was also able to write our president a communication extending his congratulations. So that was the beginning of re-looking at some of the projects that the government and people of China, the People's Republic of China, were undertaking. And this bridge process was also discussed lengthily, along with a number of other projects that they're helping Liberia with, such as the project of the construction of the expansion project of the Liberian broadcasting system, and other well-meaning projects, including building a facility for our health sector. So during the course of the week, the president did break ground along with the ambassador, and the president was excited, but most importantly, is looking forward to not just the beginning of the project, but its completion, where he will be able to show to the Liberian people that the engagement he's had over the years, they're all coming to fruition. And for the president, he really sees this as an opportunity for Liberians. Besides the construction, even the creation of jobs, not just the possibility of easing traffic congestion in the Kongatown area, but also creating jobs, or also improving the economy, because this will even help to increase property values along the corridors, but also bringing utilities and expansion of road. These are things the president is looking forward to doing more across the country. And as I've mentioned, the president has been quite busy. And as you can recall, on July 26th, when he spoke to the country during the Independence Day celebration, he did set up a committee headed by the vice president. And that committee was to review the pricing of local commodities on the market, and to show the challenges, especially with the contradiction, because if the government is reducing tariffs for certain commodities, the expectation is that the end users, the regular purchaser, the community people, our mothers and families, are able to have access to a reduced price in the market. So the vice president and his team went to work daily, regularly, updating on the status of that since the formation of the committee. The president just announced, based upon the recommendation And let me let all of you know that it is an ongoing work. The work is not done yet. It is an ongoing process and project that is happening simultaneously. So as the committee works and they make inroad in the different sectors, whether it's rice, whether it's flour, eggs, and other commodities, they are looking at major commodities by commodities with a connection to the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, the Ministry of Finance, Development Planning, the Central Bank of Liberia, and all key sectors who are members of the economic management team. So the committee have worked and recommended a reduction of prices for rice, eggs, and flour. And that's why you saw the announcement that was made. But I just like to address it because we've heard a number of different questions or comments as relates to how the president is deriving at these things and the different arguments. The president believes that some of the arguments are legit, are important, because with these issues, it means that the people are listening and the people want to know the sustainability of this. But this is something that is done not exclusively of the different importers or even end users. In the room, I can let you know that importers play a paramount role of the decisions. Decisions are not imposed upon the importers or even the providers, those who are bringing in those commodities or even producing those commodities. It is not imposed. It's a conversation and issues relating to the price drivers, things that are making the prices the way they are. They're discussed lengthily and they're looked at different scenarios. Also, it's not just exclusive to Liberia. For those of us who are not people of economic background or who are not economists, it will interest you to know that different things happen and what, especially for commodities that we do not produce in commercial quantities. For example, rice. Yes, majority of our rice come from outside Liberia, importation. So there are global markets, there are countries who are producing rice, and the importers buy the rice from those people. But there are global drivers to the decisions of the pricing of how they buy it in the bulk. So before a decision or a discussion is held or a conversation on reduction of pricing, a lot is taken into consideration. So I'd like to ease the tension of the people who may believe or who may think that the decision of the president is arbitrary or the decision of the president is quote-unquote military in nature. No, it is not. The decision of the president is in consultation with the importers, the people who are importing and producing these commodities. And you will see that a lot because it's also taking into consideration the regional reality. Similar commodities, how are they sold, for example, in Sierra Leone, in Guinea, in Nigeria, in Ghana, but also internationally on the different markets that importers and producers are buying their commodities from. So, for example, if it's in India, if it's in China, if it's in the other places, reviews are made and seeing how, what is informing the people, in that area. So just to allay the president's issue or the president's comment or decision or mandate of reducing prices is arbitrary. No, it's not. Also, in terms of the retail prices, so what the committee does, the committee discusses with the importers and look at in detail the price drivers and other factors leading to the current pricing structure and recommendation of further reduction. But also on the level of retail, especially those some of the comments or questions around the cost of retail of the different commodities that have been talked about. So the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, who is in charge of really regulating our market and seeing, what they can do to do that. So they are now responsible to, get back to the team and come up with the retail pricing. So the committee work with the wholesaler, talk about how we can do that, because with the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, they have the requisite infrastructure to be able to let you know, for example, a price of a bag of rice at a retail level from one point to the other, because before they set prices on commodities, they take a number of factors into consideration. So those detailed level of retail pricing, places, communities, so for example, in counties and whatnot, the Ministry of Commerce and Industry already has the infrastructure to ensure that happens. So I thought to address these issues. And I would like to again re-emphasize that the ongoing process is an active one, is going to be looked at in different sectors, different commodities, different items. The goal is from the President to ensure that before the end of this administration, that the livelihood of our people is really on course. And the reason why the President is upbeat about this initiative and other future initiatives is that for a long time, sometimes it's challenging where you have unregulated activities within the market. People decide what pricing to do, but this is not just from the presidency. It's inclusive of the importers and even the retailers where there need be. So we just like to let all of our people know that the president knows what he's doing, the country is in the right hands, and he trusts the vice president to lead this initiative, and the results are coming. You will also see issues in the sugar, for example, issue in the frozen food, and just name it. There are a lot of different commodities that the team is working on to ensure that the prices are reduced and our people are able to afford. So earlier this morning, we actually, that's why we're starting this time. The president had a cabinet meeting that just concluded. And this cabinet meeting is the second part of the previous cabinet meeting that was had earlier or somewhere last month, the last cabinet meeting before this one. So some of the conversation that started on the economy, it continues to this cabinet meeting. And I'll just like to quickly let you know some of the key conversations and key sectors I will talk about. On the microeconomic issue, I know earlier on people were saying, oh, is it the micro or the macro? But there are big drivers into the bigger portion of our economy. There's also the smaller part, that what you will call, people say, the bread and butter issue. So this cabinet meeting also looked at the bread and butter issue and how we can really ensure that pricing, rates, and whatnot, especially so we operate in an economy that's highly input-based. We have very limited production activities here happening. So to be able to ensure that things are stabilized, you need to have regular cabinet meetings and bring your people in the room. So for the cabinet meeting, discussion centered around the real development sectors, as I talked about earlier, domestic pricing control. There was an update from the Vice President and his team as to what impact they've made so far and the plans to continue. Interestingly, the team from the economy, including the Minister of Finance, Development Planning and his team, the Minister of Commerce and Industry, the Liberia Revenue Authority, and those who are involved with that sector, they're high prospect that we do have good budget performance or a very good outlook of the economy, that we're doing well. We may not be perfect, we've not reached 100%, but the prospect is huge, and there's an allowance of positive energy when it comes to the economy. And very soon Liberians will see, as our president always likes to see, the trickle-down effect on the individual household. And right now, there's a strategic conversation around preparation for the next year budget and giving some update on the implementation of the AID, where the country stands, and what prospects there are, and where the challenges, of course, are. I mean, one of the major challenges with the conversation, some of them are still preliminary. It is the level of debt. Liberia is in debt, and interestingly, we're still paying debt from the 80s. Imagine 1980s and up, but their plans with the president in charge leading this to show that we have a strategic conversation on how to have a product print and what needs to happen. Also, there are updates from the road fund, and there are good prospects as to generating resources, but also obviously the challenges and their plans to ensure that they work with their technical team in improving access on feeder roads and contribution to the road project. Institutions that also are in debt to the road fund, there are some interest of ensuring that they pay what they owe. Also on the international financial side, the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning team gave us some hope about the active nature of the MCC. I'm sure this was something that most of you were interested in as to where we stand with the Millennium Challenge Corporation. When the government took over, things went well. President did meet Madam Albright, and a lot of active conversations were happening. And then he received a call and said that they're looking at Liberia to see the possibilities. And then when the new administration came in, the new administration halted some projects.
Good morning, folks, and welcome again to the People's Program on this wonderful, wonderful Monday morning, the 8th day in the month of September. Happens to be the 9th month in the year, and the year stands at 2025. It's a pleasure having you join the conversation again. From the city of Painesville, CityCom Liberia, Cool 91.9. We say welcome to the People's Program. Welcome to this Monday morning presentation of your breakfast info companion program that takes you around Liberia, Africa, and the rest of the world on training and local national issues. And it's always a pleasure having you joining us from wherever you are. So it's always good to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, based on your timeline and wherever you follow us from. Whether be on our YouTube channel too, Cool 91.9, Cool Radio Online, whereas Cool and K News as well. All of the outlets bring you all of the training events at their doorstep. So folks, it's a pleasure having you again joining us on this wonderful, wonderful day. I'm Weekie Brooks, Ambassador Vice, alongside Team Nucleus, back in controls all of the sounds and video this morning. And we're going to be here up until 10 o'clock this morning. This is it, and this is where we're going to walk the walk and talk the talk, and as usual have to shift the party of our democracy, whatever you are. It's always a pleasure, folks, and we always like to start up by telling you, Liberians, we have to be peaceful, we must be politically tolerant, religiously tolerant as well. We must accept that the next person will support another person and you support another person, or you will support a particular political party and your very close friend, your children, your child, or your wife, could be supporting another side, you support another side. It should not be reasons to divide you people. And supporting another political side while you support the other side should not be reasons that will split a friendship that you people came up from childhood and all. You people have become blood. I've graduated from being just friends to brothers, to sisters, to families. So we have seen how politics have taken a toll in a negative form on us as people who are resilient, united, people hospitalities over the years, but we have seen, but we still of the conviction, trust me, we can get there. We can heal the wounds and address the issues and find means to have matter resolved. We're all having to use some words or think that because somebody support this person or this party, meaning he or she does not know what he or she wants. And that person should not be seen as somebody who thinks rightly, as somebody who is beyond their own sense of reasoning and thinking, because this person is on the other side. We must be able to have the exchange of ideas. Sell what is on your table. Let's see who buys it. And not just to criticize, not just to condemn. But it's always good that when we are here, we talk about some of these things. We have listened over a period of time. And some of us, we have tried to take our time to look at some of the issues in our country.
New analysis administration, by that I mean all types of projects to review what's happening, including USID, MCC was also part, and a lot of other things. Now that the administration has...
And I'm going to tell you, and I hope that our authority and other folks are listening, people who are even in the opposition bloc and government officials, these are sort of like your problems. There's no if and end about it. I don't care what we want to say, what we want to do. When these things are not addressed, we will continue to have the same thing being repeated. You will hear people in the opposition while they sit in government. They will tell you all of these things, but we have totally taken our eyes. We see some strides being made with this government, but these are areas that we have had serious trouble, and we have not been able to easily look in our direction. Come to think of this. Most often we talk about the issue of unemployment rate in Nigeria with the population that we got, and see some of the statistics, other people who conduct survey and all of these things with different reports, different numbers about people unemployed and all of these things. At times, there are factors that are responsible for unemployment in a lot of countries. And some of these countries were able to address these problems. And today, we run into them for help. But we are not even asking some of them, how did they get to where they are today? We want them to come to us. We roam the globe. We boast about the kind of resources that we have in this country. Yes, indeed, we have it. We talk about the vast land, a conducive climate, weather, everybody here. So unique. Yes. These things are very good. But there are factors responsible for unemployment in a country, or not picture like you're in this. Once these things are not addressed, we will continue to face these things. There will be governments that will come, go, and these problems, if you look back, you will notice that Liberia problems, most of Liberia problems, people who are in the opposition will always know these problems. And when they are given a chance, these problems at times are not properly addressed. And when they are out of office, the next person that comes in, they always tell you, I inherited this, because we have not been able to properly address the problem. Maybe we have not been having the right people with the right minds in the right positions. Or we have not had people who are patriotic, nationalistic, because it's going to be hard. We're going to talk some very hard truth. This is Liberia. And we have made steps on so many times on critical national issues, because we have polarized, weaponized politics in Nigeria. So the political issue is something that we more focus on other than addressing other key critical national issues. We are divided on the fronts that this person wants to see me, that person don't want to see the other group of people. And we classify people in the various categories, that these people, so you support these people, people see you as people or less important, or not a class of citizens, second-tier class citizens of Liberia. So the stereotype, they put you in a position that you feel sorry for yourself. That even when they ask you to say, let's run to the ocean, today is salt drinking water day, we just going to drink salt water. You are there because you have seen your Messiah. They have painted a picture and have a story for you that you see yourself well fitted into those stories, and you think that these people are doing so well for you. Now, unemployment, what I got to know, is caused by so many factors. Sometimes by slow economic growth, technological advancement, sometimes reduce the demand for labor. Now, the world moving. Technology right now taking over. There are some jobs that you find that technology has taken over it. So people get employed. And at the end of the day, they get unemployed because some of the areas, some of the folks, they go after a cheaper labor. So you see that we start to fake some of these things. Even some of the kind of education that we acquire or acquiring now, you have to be mindful and looking at the future and looking at the kind of environment where you find yourselves as well. Because sometimes some of these things will not count. And when you look at the economy of a country, and at times, unemployment, there are people who will unemploy themselves because there are times the environment where the environment is so toxic, working somewhere, every day nobody can appreciate you, or the money might just be more, but you're in a zone that you're uncomfortable every time you to work, you're not happy. When you leave work, you feel some signs of relief. Why you want to put food on your table, but you notice that you see the next man who works for small money, but he's okay. He's in an environment that is friendly, that is conducive, and welfare is at the top of being at that environment. You see people dedicate the time for years. Sometimes people ask, well, I know how much money he's making. But those people, that environment that brings comfort and build family, even for bigger ones tomorrow. So you find people, sometimes they leave their jobs. Sometimes people leave the jobs because they are more qualified, they think, and what they're being paid, and want to seek for a better position or much higher salary. So when they get out, it's like going to take some time. It's going to take some time before you get a job. And in that time, there are other folks who will be working. Sometimes you get people unemployment. And come to think about Liberia, we got structural challenges. Infrastructure is a very serious problem to our country. And this is a problem that is long. And that's why we say, thank God that the last government and this government have tried to put the emphasis or focus on the issue of infrastructure. But I think we need more. Sometimes we see, you hear we talk about bringing people to Liberia. We want the young people to get jobs. We want the young people to get jobs and all of these things. Yes. We said to some of these people, our international conferences, we convince them, we tell them all the good things about Liberia. But sometimes when these people come to Liberia, trust me, they might not be willing to just tell you, but they are discouraged when it comes to infrastructure in our country. There are places that are so good to invest, but when you look there, you don't see structures to have industries there. So it's going to be difficult for people to come before you see them, say they come and build their office, they come and do these things. So government is not taking the lead to invest in infrastructure. People come, they look at our structural challenges, they look at roads. They look at roads. You find people who want to come to Liberia to come and invest. But nobody wants, and the men look at the environment in Montserrat, the population, how congested, the traffic, and there are a whole lot of things. And think that, look, let's move this thing to Bon County. You get to Bon County, you notice that we start to have infrastructure problems. They're looking around, you can find the structure. Electricity, and all of these things. These things are things that must be addressed. But when people are outside of government, we hear them talk all of these things. Until we start to invest in infrastructure and have maintenance. And that's one of the problems we have had. That's why most of our infrastructures that either in Montserrat or other Montserrat or other counties owned by government, most of the time there are maintenance challenges. How to maintain these structures. You find somebody who lives in the West, in a country, who have never seen a day that They have a shortage in power, or they have power cuts for 1 or 2 days, or sometimes even 5-10 minutes. And who traffic will not easily deny him of going to where he's supposed to go, and you come to see these things. You wake up in the morning, you see most of the cars that leave a right light, Dubois Junction, all headed to Central Monrovia, Sinker. The other folks coming from Douala and other places going to the same side. You see the traffic congestion because we did not invest in roads connectivity. We did not invest in infrastructure. So you'll find out people come. Sometimes to even attract people into the rural parts for employment, it's difficult. You don't find housing unit, electricity, running water. We have to exercise patience. There is no if and end in this country. No matter who comes in, when these things are not addressed and we only want to show our political muscles, we only talk about it. So you find inadequate investment in any country that will go through what we're going through right now. You look at Liberia now, you talk about the lack of investment in industries. It can also limit the creation of jobs, the creation of new jobs. Especially sectors that are driven by the economy, driven by the youth. Then you find out we will have skills and education issues as well. You have mismatch between the skills possessed by the workforce and the skills required by available jobs. This is where sometimes we mix. There are some companies that will come to Liberia. We don't have the workforce. So we have a mismatch between the skills that are required to work with that and the workforce skills that are available. We will have the workforce that are available, but then we ask ourselves, do we have the skills? Do we have the technical know-how? So when we start to address some of these things, we hope government and other folks are listening. This is the voice of politics. These are some of Liberia's problems. These are not all, but these are key factors that get us to where we are today. We also had the last government struggle to have a foreign direct investment into the country. You know, people repeatedly were shifting blame on the government. Oh, the government was this, the government was stealing. So at the end of the day, most of the time we believe that government corrupt, or this person corrupt. Yes. Until we can take them to court and have them prosecuted. These are allegations, but some of the allegations are griefs that require investigation. But these are some of the reasons why you find people say, oh, because they're collecting the taxes, they're eating. We are 5.2 million. That the census, another one of the census said it. And you see that we are faced with these problems. What more in the next 5-10 years, if we do not address it now, in the next couple of years, and the population increase, we hit 10 million. We start to go to 15 million. These will be problems. The government will come, government will go, and we'll only be telling you that old age problem. And this is where we have had this issue of this thing being repetitive from government. Old age problem, old age problem, old age problem. We could not easily address our infrastructural challenges. We saw how government in the past, after our civil war, we had to start to rent a lot of private buildings, put huge money in the pockets of those families. You see the ministry of this, is renting from this other family. The ministry of that or the agency renting from this other. So we were losing hugely. Rental fees, every time we collect our taxes, revenues that should move the country, pay civil servant, we have to take huge component of it to settle our debts. So we started to have these challenges. Sometimes the ministry is on the side. After some time, the landlord might not be satisfied with the deal because of the delay in payment. The next thing says, oh, we're moving to this place. It was so difficult to see ministry agency trying to construct their own bill to move and take that heavy load from the taxpayer, that the wage bill can reduce, and we can focus on putting money for development in the budget, other than just continue to talk about, the issue of salary, and little left to develop the country. We've been faced with these issues. Now, in Madam Ellen Johnson Sally during her 12 years, she managed to have spoken with our international partners, and those who are helping Liberia, those who saw the need, and some of the things that we were putting before them that we saw the need, that it was being very, very prudent at the time and needful. We can point to the ministerial complex. Today, they hosted a couple of ministry agencies. So that wage bill is off the shoulders of the poor struggling taxpayer. So we can save some money, but we don't know yet how much money they save. We're still trying to ask to know. Now, since we moved here, and the ministry and agencies that were renting to other places, how much annually do we save for rental fees? Same with the ministry and agency here now, government on where they do not have to pay rent. We will get to that. So, and we still need more of them. We still need more of them. Today, gradually, social services in other counties are picking up, where people go for birth certificate, driver license, wedding certificate, a lot of other things. They happening gradually. We're getting there. Some of the infrastructure we refurbish, up to speed, trying to walk. In other parts of our country also, you find out that when people come to this country too, we just think when the people come because they see the lights on in Maserati or parks adjacent, so it's just okay. Sometimes when these people come, they send folks. Some of these people don't really want to be here. They want to be out there. But getting there to do the assessment, they do not see things that meet their comfort. Because, we all from different society. Geographically, we are located differently, with different kind of weather, and food as well. So we just talk about, oh no, the only payment we do have. At times, some people come here, what they come to look for, the resources are here, but they don't see the environment where they can establish or create industries. They don't see infrastructure that they can even start from. Sometimes we want them to start, to pick up from scratch. Then the guy look at the duration of the investment. When we start to construct and after, and I start real business. No, I can't do this. I must look at, they start to look around a year or tell you about the other country. It's small, but this because they were able to invest in infrastructure. You take, for instance, the size of a cool silicon. If you had 3, 4, 5, or 10, 15, 20 across the counties, where when people say they want to go to invest, they see that kind of structure, yeah, they can take it. Say, yeah, we can take it, and this will be used as an apartment, this is our offices, and all of these things, we will run from this side and do some other things. We're lacking these things. We're trying to get there. But these are some of our problems. Yeah. And we also got to look at the issue of a skills gap. So there is a mismatch between the skills possessed by the workforce and the skills required by available job, making it difficult for people to find work. Yes. Sometimes we all do. Remember right there, they want that. When these people come, sometimes we got space gap. Sometimes what they want from us, we don't have it. Sometimes what is available, we just feel we got the manpower to work, but they look at the skill, they look at the experience. I said, what are you getting? Sometimes what you have, they don't need it. Sometimes the jobs are available, the skills to complement some of these jobs are not available. Sometimes the skills are available, the jobs are not here, the industries are not here. So we always have a miss in it. There are some companies that will come to Liberia, we got people who here already with the technical know-how, to experience, and very competent. The skills are already there with it. But the reasons why they don't have jobs, we don't have the infrastructure. Because when the people come, they see those skills required to do the jobs available, but where are the structures? So we'll take, we're coming back, we'll come back. When they go back, I say, oh man, there will be a waste of time. They come to study your traffic. Then look at all of the detours. If I'm to be to work by 8 o'clock, and I'm caught up in the traffic, where left or right do I turn quickly? We still been having those challenges again. We still having these things. So this thing is not where you just shift blame on one person. Just how people can say Asia problem, but these things might be addressed because it have becoming a cliché for every time we hear these things. And it's not happy. And with the population increasing, we are putting on more graduates per day, and the jobs are not available, but we still do not study the environment, and we are not addressing these issues. Countries that are sophisticated with huge economy, they face challenges when it comes to unemployment rate as well, but they work towards it, but they got the structure, and sometimes it's based on other factors. But look at ours, what we boast about, the kind of resources. We should be the envious nation on the continent called Africa, where people can look and see, what? How many high-rise buildings do we have here? So many people don't used to these things. You get structure with all elevators. So folks, we continue the discussion, but while you are following as usual, this is the Morning Ride People's Program, and you have the chance to win for yourself some cash this morning. All you need to do is to play the Cool Cash Radio Entertainment giveaway. Just dial *799 *11#. It's $100 or 70 cents US. You want to play 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. You just put in 4 that 400, 5 that 500, 2 that 200, and we will call you once the number hits the dashboard. It depends on how many entries you put in, but you have the chance to win. Or you just use the short code by dialing *799 # the option 11. Go there and play. Trust me. So folks, these are some of the problems. So those of you who you listen to Honorable Sir Joseph. Singapore, small. We got more resources than them. But Singapore, we have the infrastructure. Today, most of the time people run to Dubai. They're in the Middle East and other places. They on holidays because those people invested in infrastructure. Now you want to go there. You see some of the hotels. some of the resorts. Yeah. You see, inland, landlocked country, but with much bigger GDP than ours because they got the strategists, they got the technocrats, and they just know how to do it. So since we don't have access to the sea or ocean, and we landlocked, we only got neighboring countries too. At times, some of these countries are also landlocked countries. What we need to do, we're investing in infrastructure. The lay resources out here, we'll make sure we make use of it. And we attract people. So they have today, the economies are bigger than ours. You see annual salary, monthly or yearly salary for working people in some of these countries. You wonder, they're gonna take on years for one person to even save money to be like that. So sometimes you see some of these countries they tell you the person annual salary. They are on the average level. So it's earning 50 or 60,000 a year. How many persons in Liberia on the average level will earn that kind of money? How many? So we stay a little bit distant, but we see the prospect. And these things can happen and we can achieve it collectively. Yeah. There are some industries that want to come to Liberia, or some company that can sign, MDL or concession agreement with us. They want to just walk to come to Liberia, get a structure, set up, and at the end of the day, those equipment that they want to use, they just want to see it in Liberia owned by Liberians or company already operating with it in this country. But how many can we find? How many? Folks in other countries are not playing magic. I hope people are understanding this morning. Because for too long we just wake up and just the hardcore politics and we are leaving it unaddressed. And it's creeping onto us. Why are we not learning these things? Why are we not getting up to speed with some of these things? Unemployment, you look at the demographic factors. You look at the rapid population growth. Somebody it can outpace job creation. Then you saw the census. There are some places, some counties, the numbers are high. But the jobs that are available cannot absorb everybody there. So you know the few will work, and a huge portion will be other jobs. So unemployment. Until we can start to address these things, we might just wait for Jesus to come on that faithful day when the rapture takes place. Because sometimes you just hear how many high-rise buildings that we have in this country. You got a man who had lived in 3, 4, 5-story building for almost all his life. He had worked with a company where he had never seen himself climbing steps so easily. And he's in Liberia. And in the rural part, he's in Sino. He starts to look around. What's the infrastructure? Where do we start from? How many local companies with the kind of equipment we can rent? We can also some of these things, and they are responsible to handle these things for us, and they get paid and can create jobs for Liberians. How many of them do we have? How many of them? Then you be talking about geographic mobility. Where people face challenges or being unwilling to move to other regions or countries to find work, contributing to unemployment in their current location. Because some of the places want to move to find work. You get somebody that say, well, in Sano, people there, they got different company there looking for people to go and work. You get there, you see the environment. It's actually not conducive for you. It can accommodate you and you're uncomfortable. You get there, You start to look for your own house to go and rent. For the little salary you will pay, your family is back home. So you see, we still a little long way, but we can have it done. Because we see our neighbors are addressing these things with speed. And we think that we can do it. We think that we can do it. Because we have created the culture in this country of once you were there and you did not do it, the next person comes to do it. You find all the different means to discourage or paint a picture that is so negative. And, you know, we take a ride on the people, our young brothers and sisters, on the issue of poverty and the issue of illiteracy. So we tell them, oh, we have seen people who have made more investment in their private infrastructure than what we expect to see from national government. But it is not late. It is not late. We can do it. Even with this government, with the kind of footing she tries to pull herself in, yes, whoever comes next can follow the blueprint. Yeah. Some of these people come to the country, their diet, they first look at our health sector. They look at when I'm fall ill, how long it's going to take me before I flew out of this country to go back to my home for medical treatment. Look at, do we have the kind of equipment, do we have the kind of doctors? Yes. But do we have the facility? Somebody might say yes. But do we have the kind of equipment to get these things done? Then we will be asking a little bit of question again. Yes, maybe, no, or you know, all of these things. Because we still having some minor surgery. You listen to the radio appeal, you follow the social media, people having appeals for this person to be flown out, for calling for help and all of these things. But we got some of the structures. We have seen the 14 military hospital that is also contributing as well. The Emory Hospital, complementing the effort of other referral hospital, but you still see the challenges out there. The consistent budgetary support. How do we attract our qualified doctors, nurses, teachers in the rural parts? We got teacher training colleges around here, they're putting up graduates, the university. You know, some of these folks, they want to go in the rural part, but structural problems there again. We don't have easily hosting unit for our teachers, our doctors. We have one or two places, yes. So it's difficult. Electricity, we save fighting with that, we're gradually getting there. Safe drinking water. Like Water Sphere Corporation, we are taking it to the next level. Yes, we're trying to get there. But these are some of the things that kept us back for so long. And we did not see a name to have it addressed. We saw the window dressing era. How we do the political coloring of how our people want to just see things. And we have had problem with maintenance. Even you take, for instance, what the sector today that are being established and passed, the tourism sector is a huge sector in any country. It's one sector that can employ a huge number of people, but we still got structural problem with it. Because some of the tourists, some of the folks who are coming to Liberia on vacation, bringing their families, some of them are not Liberians. Some of them coming to Liberia for the first time. And they don't want to just be in Maserati, just around the single belt or other places in India. The man is telling he wants to go to Babylon. He goes to Babylon, looks around, where do he sleep? With his family. What's a nice restaurant that you think he can go there with all of the different kinds of dishes? So we'll keep guiding everybody in Liberia. Not just that way or they're criticizing. We will break the news. But we will have to put things into perspective and make sure that Liberia gets it done. The narratives must be able to change. Other countries are getting better because they are changing the methods that are not working. They're going back and asking other people what kind of a model that were used to have them achieving what they're achieving today. And the results are coming. We can do it. So keep playing on the Cool Cash Radio teaming giveaway. Yeah. So you can dial the numbers this morning. I mean, if you want to play, you just want to like run down 60 cents US. So all you do, you dial *799*11 hash, $100 Liberian dollars or 70 cents US. So you want to play 2 times, 3. Don't play one. You sit down, you wait. You put in your 4 or you put in your 5 times, and you'll get the results from there. So wherever you are, it's always a pleasure. I'm not doing it. So that's just about it. And so just keep playing, and you will thank me later. So the short code *799# the option 11, and you can go there, and you will have to thank me later. So once your number hit the dashboard, we'll call you up. But these are some of the issues that got us where we are today, folks. This is not something that we just sit down. Sometimes we think that it is to make it. Sometimes the issue of lack of adaptability, being able to adapt, unemployment, being able to adapt. Yeah, lack of adaptability. So you have lived in Pinsville all your life, and you were asked, you got a job, well-paid job, you're in Sino, you're in Maryland, you just can't adapt to that environment, you can't adapt to the culture. So you might just spend a few time, and the next thing, you're off the job. You can't make it. You come back, you have created another space, and you have added to the number. So sometimes it's not just with government, sometimes it is with us, because at times we don't adapt. And even at times, people who come from abroad will look at the environment and say, no, it will be difficult for us to adapt to this kind of environment. It's not conducive for us. And some of these folks, the kind of houses we got here might not just be to the taste. We have to start building the different kind of houses, dependence houses, the continual houses. You got some of these folks, they just love it to see wooden houses, in the butchers, sometimes around some of the beaches, the resorts. They are here. They come to do assessment when they come about schools that we got here. People love to move with their families. There are folks who love to move with their families. When they are moving from one area to another, they like to move with their family. But most often you see the footballers. There are a lot of them who move with their family to places when they get a new contract. And where they go, see some of these things. So we asking government and Liberian-owned businesses that it's time we look at structural development. We got the land, we can boast about that. But trust me, our infrastructure in this country, limited, and Some of them are currently in dilapidated position that we have not yet touched it. We see some of our former presidents' houses, how they are right now. We see some projects that were started by previous government, some being abandoned, some being completed, some yet to start, some we don't even know the negotiation, how far did it go, what was the investment cost. So we are with all of these things. And these things are happening. So these are some of the problems we are faced with. These are some of the reasons why we are having unemployment. Imagine we got the number that we have today. You know, our population size. And we look at all of these things. And sometimes the reasons why we are having some of the problems, so yeah, we got people who are educated, but we got limited educational resources. Limited educational resources in this country. What does that mean? You will be talking about inadequate access to practical job-oriented training and education, you know. It leaves many people, individuals, unprepared for the demand for the labor market. There are folks who have gone to earn a degree or diploma or whatsoever. They don't have the practical know-how. They have never had first-hand practice with some of these things. And when some of these people come to the country, they will not just, at least when they finish absorbing people who have the experience, people who are knowledgeable, we then start to incorporate other folks to have them trained in those things. We still having these problems. You check to opposition, they are not so easily, maybe one or two, but probably they might not say, you see that they are not even investing so easily into infrastructure, you know. We still need things. You hear people. Just imagine you heard Honorable Sir Joseph when they took him to Singapore. One of the provinces that they took him to, the employment rate is like 30 million, according to him. So we have not reached that side. So imagine a province in that country can manage to have that number, according to Senator Joseph. So he's saying, oh yeah, we carry people ask them, but yeah. And some of you too being around long in government, some of the problems that we see today, some of you, when you're counting the number of countries you have traveled to, so we always come back to ask, is it that we just travel for the pageantry, or we travel for experience, and we travel to see things that we can see whether it's applicable to our society or structure that can be erected in our country? Roads, here we try to get the roads done, but there are a whole lot of things. Imagine just this morning on my way to work at the rehab intersection. You had a motorcade preparing where the president is going, nobody knows what. But just the delay, the number of vehicles, motorbikes, never no detours so easily. Where do we go? So you got foreign people coming to the country and caught up into that, and they sit for 10, 15 minutes. Our infrastructure are also a serious problem for us. It's not that we don't have the resources. Those resources are here. That's why you see some people come. They get extract and they leave us. We don't do anything. One company come on a board to, okay, yeah, we come to like her now. We will move. Now you see Japan, talking about helping us with the issue of our rights. We want to carry out a project in Bonn and Lofa. Now, where we start doing rights reduction, we start begging, all of these things, we will have to look around again for infrastructure. If we do not find it, become another problem. We might show them somewhere that will be all right, but whether it will meet their standard, it will meet to host those equipment that will be brought and look at the environment, we will be asking ourselves. So at the end of the day, sometimes some of these things don't work. And we, because the society is so gullible, you hear somebody, but they put, then Japan get the money to put their money. So there are a whole lot of things, folks. But this is the People's Program. Let me take my break. Yeah, let me take my break and let me take my break and have a sip, of my coffee. And be right back this morning. Keep listening to this podcast.
So we see the commander of the satellite detachment have just arrived, and he spotted some. Okay. You're not on live.
No, you're on live here.
But man, nothing there.
They make him just be talking. The OPL can be working. Everybody going to prove that work.
So the commander of the satellite detachment has just arrived, and I think basically his presence here has ignited the strength of the subordinate officer, and they're trying to break down every single thing. And so the order is given out for the entire team to come to a particular space and ensure that every single thing is broken down here.
Wonderful Monday morning. Now the promises to be great, and we certainly here this morning. Sometimes we have to be patriotic, we have to be nationalistic, and so we also looking at the issue of globalization. So jobs, and also sometimes some of the things that will cause unemployment. You look at the issue of globalization. Jobs can move from one region where labor is cheaper. Maybe somebody wants to go somewhere where they see labor there very cheap. So no, you're like, bro, we'll carry the company there. Labor is expensive, like, bro, so no, let's find somewhere we can go where labor cheap. So you find people moving in those directions. So we all got to have all of these factors into play and see how we set our country, how we set our economy, how we set our infrastructure. So if we can't be lacking the infrastructure and be demanding people to pay us sometimes some of the money that we want to be paid. Yeah. These are some of the problems. Some of you have traveled extensively around the world. You know some of these things. But sometimes we ask who advising the government, who advising the president, or the technical team, and who are those in the past and present being surrounding our leaders. Why these things we have not been able to address it? And the most difficult part of it, I will tell you, is that we have had this habit probably depending on people that they can come and build Liberians for us. Maybe I'm happy to one or two countries, but friendly for a country to be developed, the people of that country, the government, must be able to develop the country. That the country will not get developed so easily without the people or the government develop the infrastructure, because you will find your partners that will work with you. There are some things that they will do, it will be of major significance and boost to you, but it will not just be all over. You know, there are things when you sit on the table, you will talk to your partners, but it's going to take once in a while. But if government will, you know, that's why we're collecting revenue. When you are budgeting every year, there are things you will get to. But sometimes you sit with your partners and be talking about, that we see now, the overhead bridge. The groundbreaking ceremony took place, yes. But how many of it will we have? We will now sit and have it depend on people that will say, yeah, the only way we'll do anything, we'll achieve these things. When we go talk to France will come build a 120-story building. China will build a 30-story building.
I don't know about it.
Let's come talk. I mean, no.
But let's take a break and let's talk.
So let me take this break and be right back.
I think when the entire team can start concentrating their strength to one side,
Move it! Let's go! Hey, guys, move! Hey, you!
so this is a continuation of the process here with the satellite detachment of the LGA, this 1/West Point chapter, and this is Center Street, the infamous graveyard. Somewhere are considered a mini Chinatown, and you see the kind of work that is being done here by these officers. I want to say kudos and want to say for all of those of you watching the live video to kindly share this video and ensure that it reach different policy makers.
Move quick. Let's go, move it. Hey, let's go.
Yeah,
Who's that man?
Where Charlie here?
Where Charlie?
We're not letting him spoil him and part of starting get bongo already.
Yeah, you're carrying to the vehicles. You're carrying the vehicles. My man, knowing that yesterday, but this day, you changed. You changed. You're carrying the car. Hello? You're carrying.
Coffee carrying.
You're carrying to the vehicle.
You're Charlie, right?
Hey, you gotta be on pop, team? They may gotta be on pop?
Yeah, carrying.
Who got pop?
A facilitator.
What are you doing? Hello? Yeah. I woke up.
Yeah, it's kind of frustrating the kind of places our people are living, and we think that this is appalling. We call on the government to make some interventions. Other than this, the future of Liberian young people is going to become really, really bleak. As a matter of fact, there is no level of certainty in the future of the young Liberian people. We think that for those of you who are followers of West Point TV, continue to share this live so that it can reach a lot of policy makers. Liberians are really living in deplorable conditions, most especially right here in Monrovia, where you have access to almost every basic facilities in Monrovia, and these are the conditions Liberians are living in. I really think that policymakers need to intervene and ensure that we save the future of our generation. So the commander himself is here, and you see his presence have ignited the level of energy in the work. Commander Fode Mulba is somebody who we think has been putting in a lot, he and his team here, and we hope that we can have these kinds of opportunity to continue to see him when he's doing these kinds of work. Even LDA officers are surprised as to the kind of deplorable conditions young Liberians are living in. And so some of the ghetto youths themselves have joined the work, the effort to help the LDA officers, because this is the whole Chinatown.
Everything. They have upgraded to several development. Remember, the office is still into the bananas farm. There are the tissue factory opposite.
Tissue factory. What they are offering and what the government has seen over a period of time, they to have upgraded themselves on just that level, because what they saw and the kind of results and things that were coming, so they needed to to say this is like our own. We can't continue to be in one position, so they needed to add some value, quality, and the ministry or the government, whatever they give them. So
and you get confused the matter that this is a herbs. They say a supplement, so you need to define yourself in our process. So they are recognized as status of government. So they have been recognized as a supplement.
And they all of the government are able to do everything possible, like everything, and say, okay, this is it, but you can't be on this side, you got to be straight.
Yeah, got to be straight. Don't just say, oh, the Ministry of Internal Affairs know about me, the Ministry of Health, but the ones about the Medicine Regulatory Authority, they too need to
they too got involved and have to issue their own license.
And so Barry Maga is up. And
the guys are kicking and running.
They are up. So those of you who have issue with the typhoid, malaria, the back pain, so sort of a stroke, sexual transmitted diseases, and a lot more for you, it's time now that you can still go at the and this medicine, let me emphasize it's not sold anywhere. There's just 2 sale points into Moswara County. That we said earlier on, it's in Lufa, Vonjama, it's in Zozo, it's in Kolahon, it's in Fuya, it's in Bon County, Banga, and other parts, other outlets are opening. It's in Ganta, Nima County, and other parts are opening, like Sanikole, like Sakipie, Bang, other areas. And it's in Moswara County. Mosorado is in Bananas Farm, in Painesville, Bananas Farm, opposite the tissue factory that come out and Son, and also on Camp Johnson Road, Camp Johnson and Clay Street intersection there is right in our area. So, and there are also plans to open other areas because machines for mass production are already being imported into the country so that they can get to other points in other parts of the country that you can be able to get it. And there is an aim that they are all hospitals that this be used as a supplement to help cure a lot of sicknesses folks are faced today. So like you said earlier on, it's still the same. It's twofold. You can mix it. The tea, when you get there, they'll get a measurement, they'll give it to you. The quantity of boiled water, and you mix it up nicely. And don't drink it cold. You have to be at a very certain temperature that you can consume it, but it should not be cool. And you take it in, and also you can use the marimaga as a rub. Yeah, as a rub. Those of you having pains, other part of your body can be used there. So marimaga is certainly up again. So if you are suffering from other illnesses, you can get help. You can get help, and it's important that you try and see, because others have already tried and see. So you know, when you want to do the right thing, it's good you do the right thing. So when there are shortcomings into issues, it's good that you settle it. So marimaga is proud to announce to Liberians that they have done all of their activities with government, and they are duly recognized by government to operate in Liberia, and it's a supplement, not just a herbal note to say, a herbal tea. No, it's a supplement right now on the Liberian market. It's proudly Liberian owned, so you can take advantage of the process. Those of you suffering from typhoid, suffering from stroke, suffering from growth, suffering from back pains, suffering from sexually transmitted diseases, you can get to marimaga various points and you can get help. And also, based upon some of the numbers read in the ad there, also want to provide some of your emphasis that Mr. Prince B. Gray is the business manager. They are Married for Life Healing Center. marimaga herbal tea. You can call him on 0776 369 805, 0776 369 805, and 0888 888 856 776, 0888 856 776 to get to marimaga. And you'll be getting to the folks there at Bernard's Farm opposite the tissue factory there. And please, it's another golden opportunity for you to get help in this process here. So try, and you may just be at that point. And also at the Camp Johnson Road, Clay Street, Ms. Patience Patience Weah is also the contact person there at the Camp Johnson Road and Clay Street intersection. Ms. Patience Weah, you can call on 0775 499 549, 0775 499 549. So these are contact numbers that you get, and ask all of the questions. You ask all of the questions, all of the doubt you having will be clear, and you start on the marimaga. Marimaga has proven to be a herbal tea, a supplement that have helped a lot of people in Liberia. So you can also try and be a part of the process too.
Okay, so folks, welcome. You heard it, and we're going to talk about that more over the period of time, and you will go there and tell thank you later. But so folks, yeah, maybe you order cash. There is an opportunity now that you can play the Cool Cash Radio Entertainment giveaway, and you can just win for yourself something to go and get your supplement there. So all you do that *799 *11 hash, $100 $1 or 7 cents US. You want to play 2 times, 3 times, just put in your ticket numbers will be there. 2 is 200, 3 300, just like that, or you dial the short code *799 hash 11. The option will be there for you to play, and we'll certainly, once the number hit the dashboard. So like we were talking about this issue of unemployment, so I hope you follow and getting to know all of these things. Why sometimes we talk about unemployment, so we have been giving you some of the factors, some of the reasons. And if government, whether this government or the next government, do not address these problems, we will continue to have these problems confronting us, no matter who comes in as president, until these things are addressed. Yeah, look, we got a huge deficit when it comes to infrastructure in this country. It's terrible. Our roads are bad. Our infrastructure are limited, and some of the ones that are around are in deplorable condition. We're trying to work to see how best we can get some, yes. So we want to attract people, but the people we want to attract, we don't have the structures to continue them. We may have the environment, but what do we have there? So these are some of the things. And let me say something to some of the folks before we go to the lines this morning. These are some of the things that have kept us back. These things, some of it being addressed. So let's hear from our callers now. 0775 919 919 919 at the number. So you'll see that unemployment sometimes occurs when workers who want to work are unable to find jobs. And you'll find sometimes a high rate of unemployment, signal economic distress. The economy is bad. Why? Extremely low rates of unemployment may signal that an overheated economy. Economy is good, that's why you got low rate of unemployment. But these are some of these things that we've been able to see, to point out to some of these things. So when this government can address it, well, the next government will have to address it. Because these are things that we've been fighting to address. So now we sit down and look at. You see somebody, you hear the other person going for study for rural, rural planning development. But yet we still see these things. How these things are happening, we don't know. How are we addressing it? How do we intend to address it? Or we just are all having this portfolio? But these challenges are still, we've been faced with it. Who wants to bring the children to Liberia? Say yeah. But the main public cannot have a school that is kid fixing. We made claim or fee that we have it. Yes, most likely, yes, it's possible, yes, private, those things are yeah, but when it comes to the issue of enjoyment, so you can measure some of these things so people know their liking, their taste, and so when they don't see it, we will not have it. So these are some of the things, and we hope that government will be able to address these things. So let's take your calls now on 0775 919 919 0880 919 919. The two numbers you can call us on to be part of the conversation. Talk to my first caller on the line. You're live. Yeah. Go ahead.
Thank you so much for your session. I'm Frederick Belgico calling from Prince. Again, I want to state that I don't know whether the government doesn't have the strength or do have the willpower to do what it ought to do, especially when it comes to our resources. We know that a lot of resources in this country, but most of the resources people, various sectors have been controlled by individuals or government officials or private citizens and foreigners. So whatever is being taken out, being exported, when the money comes back, going into the pocket, money goes to the central bank where they do all the regulate. So I don't know whether the government cannot take control. When you want to compare like Burkina Faso, the next thing we say that the American government may have the power to do it. But we have ourselves too. We have the power to do it, as we said. So what is the government doing? Can we take control of all our resources and the money comes and then the central bank is able to regulate and have a free flow and things be okay in this country? That's no problem. Thank you all so much.
Thank you for being part of the conversation. Yeah, we all hoping that we will have the right people to do the right thing, because look, we have to address this thing. We have to address it, and there are a lot of things that must be taken into consideration. This is not something, oh yeah, this one, yeah, the government this, the government that. You have to keep the government feet to the fire. You have to keep the government feet to the fire, and not just this government. That after tomorrow, the next government, we will have people who are there to also keep the government feet to the fire. 0775 919 919 0880 919 919 are the numbers you can certainly call us on this morning to be part of the conversation on this edition of the People's Program, The Morning Ride. We all watch to see Liberia better, Liberia create jobs for its citizens, and all of these things are fighters. Good morning.
Good morning, Good morning, Weekie.
Good morning, sir.
This is River Charlie. I joined from Oro this morning.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
when we talk about job creation and Liberians being competent, Liberians are competent. But Liberians are wicked to Liberians in this country. Wicked. One day, take this guy yourself. Go to King Joe. If you got paid $300 US, you will not get a job. Jobs are the Liberians are charging Liberians for job. Go to Axel Benta. If you don't pay someone to get a job, you will not get a job. Jobs are here. Going to the cluster, you see our brothers and sisters going to school, doing nursing, pharmacology. I've seen Indian men selling a tablet by retail in a drugstore last day. When my bricks are bought tablets of Indian men. So where are the jobs for Liberians? Liberians are going to do cartoon store, going to various stores that open around here. Indians are bringing Indian paying them 500-700, and Liberians are put there to do cartoon, and they are going to cartoon and they going 4 cities later. Liberians are they have professional people here. Now, Weekie, check the guy, let's see. Check what I do, professional American. Where you know, let's see. Just copy the line. You were here, Liberians.
Yeah, we understand all of those. We're talking about sometimes the level. We're looking at the issue of the structural problem that we got in this country. We don't have the kind of structure at time to bring these people here. So until we can address this thing, look at roads connectivity. We still carrying these problems. We understand these people, they stay here, they're doing some of these things that Liberians are supposed to do. But those things cannot absorb the kind of jobs that will give the kind of a number or the revenue back to us. So those things are other factors. But let's look at the bigger picture of how we are still lacking behind. Good morning.
Good morning, Weekie, and good morning to Nathaniel this morning to you guys.
Good morning, what up?
Thank you very much for the recognition. My only is for the help this morning for police activity. Weekie, the issue about the job issue. Our own brothers that get opportunity that working in the European company, Weekie, they are the problem for us. Because some of them, they are opportunity that working there, and some of the police go there. Weekie, they make the president to know that you are not from Liberia. They are the only best people to work with the Indian and the Lebanese people. The mental of one of my police were on the show in mention. Our own brothers are there. Weekie, take a document that we the only preparing there. They will be drinking, but all the Indians gather when they see that police there, when they bring the people there, no wasting time. They wait, they get the job. But you will not go in the garden are there to push your atmosphere or to put that feet on the ground. They will consult with the people because they may want to protect my job. They that some of the problems facing in the world issue. In my own government, there's small issue in Lima. That thing is happening. Better look, the people are working that they are enjoying themselves on a daily basis. But we are really bad agenda, we are struggling with the current employees. So let me say thank you guys for some of the things that you guys I pray that you guys will do your own awareness. Your visits for somebody, if you want to go there, they all look and love it around the side that you got to go there. And you have to go there.
Okay, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, information books.
Yeah, good morning. Let's hear you.
Information books, Nigerians are really qualified to do their own job. But the self-centeredness is something out there.
You know, I hear people. I don't want to miss this thing. That's something I'm trying to bring. We got people who are qualified, competent. I'm looking at the part here. Do we have the infrastructure to attract the kind of investment to this country, or we just tell people we have resources?
No.
Yeah. So these are some of the factors. Until we can address these things, look. Take for instance, you say the Indian people, the other people, the Guinea ones, they will do it because they feel. You don't have the kind of a structure, and they will pay you because
all information books. That's the fact to say. We don't have the material to do our own job. Just take a look about what happened about Ministry of Transport there. The people got the material. When the man is doing a stop on the road, the area of inspection of a car, he's not going to stop this car. There's a material you use on that car to know whether that car is registered. There's a sign I will get. But we don't have it. When the next stopping car in the traffic, it will be a game traffic. But we don't understand it. I like the way we should put it. Let them go and get the car. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. You know, we're looking at the infrastructural side because we also lag it behind. We got to take all of these things into consideration. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good. Hey, committee, Gaza this one. We get and all from game. You know that you know that here it was a rule. It because there is good for 7% not no in apart. So the living for and when he apart, it's open cry and they bang one passer. I can't. I don't have to say and get and when you say you can't it, you will not see that they can go get it. You look at all the that bring here. Build all the school, don't build things that the best thing that when other people can, they can the part of the train of school, they can live from there and go to work and go to school, and have whatever to go. I think that's what we do, but now what to do for us. And not only that, our politicians, we don't need to party. Someone is that part to bring the center as a user. And you can't that will come to people and they come. We can tell them. We
Okay, thank you. Thank you. The line not too good, but you got your point. You know, so we need, there are a whole lot of things that we need to take into consideration if we want to see this country develop, we want to create more jobs. Because look, even look at the issue of transport. You know, let's look at the issue of even transport. We're still facing serious problem with it. Today, we say having problems with local flight, commercial flight internally. Yeah, we got one or two, but you know how many? So we say having problems that girl, we are not reach the state so easily where you see they say train and leave Muscle rather straight to Bon County or to Maryland. You know, there are a lot of other things we have it. And people will look at some of these things. I'm not talking about this issue, oh yeah, that very poor, the Weekie, or our own poor. Let's address the infrastructure problems. Yeah. Infrastructure challenges have been a serious problem to us. And we won't hide from it. We can't hide from it. We know all the other parts being turning our play alone, but we see what happening now.
I'm sorry. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sorry for the feedback. This is Pastor Moses. I'm calling you from the Coca-Cola Party this morning. You know, Mr. Bro, you have said it all. Those are the things that when we are still misinterpreting the topic here. How can we have an infrastructure to attract investors? When investors come, the time that we take to build a new structure and the time frame, those are the things we are looking at. The government should take the initiative, get a tangential infrastructures or in private citizens who could structures that when investors come from abroad, they will see those things, they will still be able to run the kind of structure and run our business.
You want people to come you want people to come and go to the busy mountain, but what the structure you get there that you know can host these people?
Exactly. We get there from NGO, they come, so now they just operate within 5 months, so then 1 year. So the time they will come to build new structure, it will be a challenging thing for them. So government or private citizens will need infrastructures that will attract investors. So then it's not about qualified librarian or not qualified librarian. Librarian will know that a lot of qualified people, but we are looking at the infrastructures.
How many librarians that we know in this country own helicopter that can take people from here to the other place so easily? How many guys that can even transport iron ore that bring from that they can be hired from one place to another? But everything that the people send for bring it. So all those things are strenuous, and sometimes people just want to come and make an investment, but they meet the structure, the meeting in the place and start functioning.
Thank you, man. Thank you this morning.
Yeah, thank you. So listen, it's not about librarian. Look, and I said something earlier on. We're missing the mark as well too. Sometimes the skills available are not available or are not required for the jobs opportunity that come at time. So we have to assess and check the market. Yeah. And there are so many reasons why unemployment will exist. You won't have investment into the country. We tell people about our gold, diamond, or our minerals that we got in this country. Everybody clap. Everybody knows Liberia. Japan now want to come and help us with reproduction and see where they can set up a project and see how it may be. It can take us to world level in bomb and lofa. Do we have the structure? Do we have, so what do we have? Will we be now calling people out and say, when you come, let's be the player first? How long will it take to build before we start operation?
Mm-hmm.
People must come and be structured on ground.
Like the president said, let's start first.
Yes. Before
we start asking other people, so that we'll be at a certain level.
But this thing has hindered our development for a long period of time.
Sure, for a very long time.
People come to this country to come invest. But when they come, they don't see the structure.
They make out to spend about 5 to 10 million before he starts seeing proceeds for his work. He said, well, let's put on serious.
So sometimes you see the guy will move to a country because they talk about globalization. He moves to another country where he see labor very cheap, but the structures are there. Yeah. Or the structures are there, so they add value to the labor because the structures are already there, so you pay the people. But we complain in this place to get people get up sleeping in time. What the investment we have done so much with infrastructure? What are the major hotels? Sometimes they're based on it because we see they are very nice small air, the poor pool there. Many of the rich people to the house, they don't even take by in the pool that they are only come when they come out before they want out of you see them jumping in pool. They get put in there to be looking at it.
And at the end result, we open a corridor for ourselves to be exploited in the process.
Yes.
Because the man will start some quasi thing and he get more than what he's
find the man on the mining side, the folks out there, the nearby offices, they even work, they make sure right after in the evening, the guys are on flight or they go into one hotel to rest. They are not even there. They will complain. Roads, stay our problem. Transportation, stay our problem. How many Liberians in this country only helicopter? That you can transport goods from one place to another. Or the company is in the country, but the company is renting. They like renting transport anything. They don't want providing this one, that one. The thing we see right, they make us more security. They make us security.
And the way in which we sign these concessions, Liberians are not shareholders.
Yeah.
These are issues to look at too, because we don't know what's happening inside the entire process. The people don't just kind mine our diamond, our gold, our timber, they will not have people inside.
Nigeria.
You take one man say,
Nigeria, Ghana, Rwanda, Uganda. They all been faced with these things, so you know what they did? Send some of them got limited resources, and some of them are laying our country. You know what they did? Rwanda, you see Uganda and other places. Ethiopia, the guys invested hugely in infrastructure. Hugely. We run to Dubai. What we run to everywhere want to go take picture.
Yeah.
Because they invested in infrastructure, you see the kind of building they get over there.
Living luxury.
You go there and you will pay the cost for living there because they pay something that will bring your comfort to the table.
That's what you want.
That's what you want. So sometimes when we go, we talk to these people, because some of them have not been here, some of them been here, some of them have only read about the country. So when we talk to them, sometimes when they send their team, then some of these people don't lie to the people because it will cost them their job or cost them huge penalty. So sometimes when they come, they say, yeah, go to Liberia, go and carry on the assessment. Maybe contact the chief, yes, the place okay, but it's not conducive. There is no infrastructure. There is nothing, electricity, still a problem. Internet,
if we go there,
problem. Road connectivity, still a problem.
If we go there, we're going to start from scratch.
We'll start from scratch. We'll be able to do all of these things. Then the man look around where he can go. That already existing structures are there. We're not just talking about because we got people here. But we're also missing a map that some of the folks that we got here that are mismatched when it comes to the skills for jobs in Liberia as well. Because there are jobs that will be available, but we don't have the skill. And
labor is not free.
Labor is not free. Because some of the folks that won't come here, they might not meet or they might not have the number or skilled person required to do that job. And when they look at it, they start looking when they will train people, when they will do all of these things, they pull up. Sometimes they say, we'll come back. The man trying to look for somewhere else. And people are looking around the world for where they can find cheap labor.
And they want free.
Our folks,
and in our process, our folks are getting exploited.
Yeah.
Librarians are getting injured on the job because some of them don't know the work they have to work. Some of them know the technical know-how. They are not protected. So as a result, you find librarians are getting injured on the job.
Some of the folks have gotten so used to living in high-rise building. The way they say that they can look, the way he stands, he can see the whole city. He stands, he look at an entire province or village. A whole time, you see people mining. You look at it, enjoying it. No, but you can't, the man look at the place, and he look at the rule and do the determination, just in case somebody, any one of his employee gets injured, beside the first aid, how quickly can he get this person out? Looking at the rule condition. But we allow politics to blind us, so we close our eyes on most of these things, so it's affecting us. Good morning. So these are some of the things that we need to see. And what we said earlier on, the previous government and this government, we're seeing there is sign of hope that they've seen these things as a problem in trying now to address it. That you see now they're talking about the overhead bridge. One completed, you know, it will ease because somebody can say, okay, I can't be caught up. If I was just this morning on my way to work, we got caught up at Rehab Junction. You see students in vehicles, people go to work, people go to business centers and other places. There was this, we saw the escort car, the president just where we know what, but the car meaning it took no detour for us so easily nobody would.
Everybody have to wait.
We have to wait.
But in a situation like that, if the president is using the overhead bridge,
yeah.
Others will say you all go down and at a certain point. But you know, we need to lay emphasis on infrastructure in this country.
No, but this is something that is, yeah,
we're way behind.
It too shameful sometimes when we're talking some of these things because we're still fighting on getting these things. What is happening?
Yeah, our leaders wasting our resources. Why not accountability?
Yeah.
Are there not technical crafts to make us know that these things are important? Or are we carrying on missed priorities? Are we shifting our attention somewhere else?
Yeah, you see somebody's asking, for instance, okay, we got 15 counties in Liberia, and the man is coming directly from whatsoever country, and he says he wants to land in Maryland to the international airport in Maryland. He don't have to come to Maggie to land to RI. Then start looking when he gets there, before he get connected again with another smaller flight or getting a vehicle to go on outside. They take all of these things. We got infrastructure problem. So now you have our own brother, look, the positions we place ourselves in over the years. We invested hugely in individual infrastructure. And today,
and we're still going on that.
And we're still proceeding with that. So we see, even to the extent, even some of the existing structure for government, poorly maintained. Nobody think poorly maintained. LWC trying your best to see how best we can get water across the country now. Because all of these questions are questions these people ask. They talk about energy. People be asking about energy. How consistent the energy? You say, oh, the people working, boo, power gone. When that happens 3, 4, 5 times, and the people use their own machine to supply current after a period of time, you notice that they start telling you that they're spending more. Then they start to delay and renege on paying their taxes. And they start to cut down on their corporate social responsibility.
Then when you investigate, you say the company is not cooperating with the agreement.
Yeah.
But they need to look at your side of the bargaining also.
But I will be sincere, we will tell you these people sometimes, or we just run to see that they sign these things in and need that we bring in jobs, and the jobs do not come. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah. For me, the point I would have made, I was shifted play on you to the television. All the people at the people get it. We're trying to meet at your station or like people in your apartment and contest because somebody is for the country. Beautiful in the country.
Alright.
I'm seeing it. I'm hearing the partner get
okay, we'll think on it. We'll think on it, yeah? We'll think on it. Thank you, we'll think on it. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
You're welcome.
My name is Stefan, I'm calling from Vietnam. Looking at now, we had the infrastructure in the country. But the matter of fact is that the corruption in this country.
What the infrastructure we have? We show some of it now. What the infrastructure? What the road?
Yeah, point to one now.
Show all the infrastructure like they attract people. So what do you do the road and the somebody who there?
Listen now, Lambo have everybody that built. ArcelorMittal, the chemical was to ArcelorMittal. How can the country have infrastructure when other companies have developed and another company can take over the place? How can we let our country again? So they see Lambo built up the roof. They built up what it is. ArcelorMittal, they take over. When the company they carry the country, they build their own place.
You see, that we're getting it wrong most of the time. You know, we getting it wrong most of the time is that we think, even those things that Lanco, Bowman, those things that the people built, those years back. Look, we can't be thinking heavily depending on people who can build infrastructure here. We're talking about what you got as government. Government so that invest in the private sector to even build some of the infrastructure. That when people come, you will get something on the government. Take for instance, you see LRA rare. They're not school building. They're not school building. So if you got about 10, 15 of those things around, and one company can say you got a size of that in one county, in Nima, in other places, and they can't say, but then we can start from here, we can use the building at our head office here. We start renting from, we here and start business.
While they are setting up, money started going to come right away.
Right. Then you see them doing the recruitment. But we don't have these things. We stake out some roads. You see it there, and toothpick. Some of the machines that people even bring it to use in our country, causing problem for people who are suffering to save the money to build their houses. They break it down. Don't have equipment moving and shaking the ground. So we have to be mindful. We have to, look, there are too many things we have to go by and readdress.
We stay turning around. And sometimes when the company comes, the time they will take to build before they start, they will say earlier on, it takes them a lot. They're making them a business. They make them want spend. And start thinking when you start operation.
I will explain. I'm sure when you try to make this. Look. Unemployment got too many factors. Sometimes the issue of adaptability. There are some people you take them from here. You can pay them what kind of money? You say you are son, you get a man is son. That man will be very uncomfortable. He can even adapt to the people culture or that environment. At the end of the day, he say he come in and get about the job.
He find back.
He don't go back.
And why?
And the next thing he come back to add up to the unemployment rate.
While he's here, he's trying to take pay.
Yeah.
Take his salary.
Yeah. Sometimes people will resign to seek a better job for a much higher salary and go and take them some time to get a job. So they will also join the rank and file of unemployed people. You see, there are a lot of things. Like the last segment coming up, I will be talking about something. We're going to be talking about something what Nigeria did a few years. You know. And Liberia needs to copy some of these things. Yes. You know, we need to be looking and researching what countries, why they are getting to where they're getting and how they are improving gradually. Though they still face with a lot of problems, but you still see that positivity, that creative measure put into place to handle some of the problems. Good morning.
Good morning, Weekie.
Good morning, sir.
How you doing?
Well, good morning.
Yeah, you know, actually I always listening to this that there is nothing there that we can really justify. It's something like that business leaders. You know, our investors, people who retire.
Yes!
They are not doing well for us. We see one entertainment center close up with each other and they don't even know how to invest. Let's look at it.
Yeah, everybody playing, they take BBC on the road.
Everybody playing, every time, every year we'll be playing country make fun of. On SKD, no day that we say, oh, we tell you this.
My brother point to some area. The day you like well, if you are playing, that you must just know that RRA will pass you. When you come back by playing, just know that RRA will be playing.
So we get to the import of everybody fighting on one leg, we got booters, we got even you can go with investment. And then people will want to go and see those places. You didn't get investors coming, you not even got able to hold them. Come on, like you to get it, they will do it. And you want to be complaining unemployment. No way. That's why I just they do the talking about destroying the money and just feel so much disappointed. Because you can get a whole lot of resources and then to even take your even that direct investor and say, yeah, we'll invest in this. Like any investor come out, they will tell them, yeah.
Thank you so much. And let me tell you, there are some countries that's in South Africa and other places when you go to try, you see some private company are mining, a private company, a private security firm. Even some of them from other countries are into other countries. They are the one who providing protection for some of the prison facilities. So they are providing security for some key investment for some companies. They register through the government. You see, these are things. But we without reading on the people, the only thing we do, everything that I would say we want. Yeah. We just forming political party, we say that bad thing, but you see everybody that is saying all thing they want to do. They want to, the same talk. That's what the president said. The other people just lose because they're training the guy. They just talk anyway. They are very respectful. They don't respect people. They just talk anyway because of the training. We have to invest in infrastructure. Sure. Ghana gaining for it. You see, Ghana, Nigeria, most of the countries right now, they got the National Investment Fund. It's set aside. The local sector that they can invest in the country reap from it.
Yeah. And it gave way for Liberians to also tap in our process to be part of the business.
Yeah.
They began shareholders. 4 or 5 Liberians come together and say we want to be shareholders.
Incorporated, they come and they go take loan. You see that? You pay one money hotel that can attract those people when they go there and they don't have the air force to come to Monrovia or Singapore before he see or feel the comfort of being back home. Some of the people, they come here, they don't even want to come area. The first thing about that, you remember, I think some years ago, or plus, I think it was the EU, Ambassador Liberia, I think spoke about the issue of the fruits at Cali Junction, where they can sell the fruits in it. Yeah. I think he was trying to say something that I'm not too exact, but okay, he was just measuring most of the fruits that he, normally go to buy are things from the supermarket. But what happened in the Liberian store? Because sometimes you want to have fresh oranges, watermelon, and there are other fruits that you think but he said, every time you go there, it's just almost the same that you get from the supermarket, and you don't see the kind of fresh products from Liberia to no places.
Yeah, it's not that Liberia are not producing.
No.
We are producing.
We are still challenged when it comes to preservation. How do we preserve these things that it do not get damaged? You can have a company that will come to Liberia with a structure already in place. They get here to preserve fruits. They get almost a warehouse. You will not find the kind of losses that we find from our farmers. Like what China is talking about, Japan is talking about what they do to help that the farmers will not have. Because you find the men will harvest the cassava before they leave Nima or Grenadier or Bon County to come. Most of the cassava got damaged. They are broken into pieces.
Pepper, the grabber.
Yeah. On the way, we do not even have the issue of storage. You see warehouses. The people carry because at times the trucks, the buses break down. Sometimes it take 3-4 days. Sometimes that they will be over there near one town or village. The men got to come in town, bring these parts that got damaged. They fix it or buy a new one, carry it, go back with mechanic for them to go and fix it. We still have structural problems in this country.
All will depend on the other currency when they eat. We want people to come outside and build it for us. What's about the one we're getting?
Yeah.
What's about the money we're getting? Why don't you focus?
You're moving at night on the major highways and things. It's difficult to find petroleum filling station. You shut down people just lay by sleeping in a car. Tire posture. We don't work 24 hours so easily.
No.
Yeah. It will cause problem for our revenue generation.
We're not working complete 12 hours because as far as about 5 o'clock, businesses are closed. Yeah, businesses are closing by 6, 7. A lot of the businesses are closed. Everybody go home.
Yeah, we're not changing shifts. They say, yeah, even 4 o'clock in the morning, go to the petroleum, the filling station, you'll meet people there. Or system put you to place. When you put your money in, you just put the money in. The system is there. You put the money in, you
get the amount you want.
Yes.
Even government institution ambassadors, they will wait until 7, 8 o'clock before that door open. So you find workers that still leave at 4, 5 o'clock to go to work and their offices open, they enter in. Is that the case of Liberia? So we're waiting now before the engine on Liberia starts to 10.
Yeah, because
by the time you reach 4, 5, 6 o'clock, it stops. The wheel stops. So the rest of the other hours that go on, where we should be generating revenues, we don't have it. And all will depend on our aid. And we will not develop until we start to use our mega resources.
You know how many of our international partners have told us they were about waiting for, who will not reach there?
Yeah.
Because we got the resources. People were happy to do something about that they're going to be your house.
There was something in it. They say, don't depend on Kobo. If you cook your own food.
Yeah.
Because when you cook your own food, the tendency that you will keep some, you will eat, but it depends on Kobo before you finish eating a finish for your stomach. So we should not just depend on aid. Let's depend on ourselves, what we are generating, in order to strengthen our economy. We can do better because we got the money, but we're not spending the money on few individuals. Look at the issue of the legislature. How much we spend on them? Some of the money we're using to build schools, but waiting for aid. Someone can build school for us. Hospitals are building for us. Medicine will bring medicine for us. And to train our citizens in specific fields, we have to wait for some aid.
But one man get gold and then in continuums.
That one can get over in the country. That one can get over at all. Liberia,
one man is
the whole country where they have given a top of one institution cannot go out and bring something. But one man can go and bring it.
One man can sit down and build a university that he wants to compare it with the University of Liberia when it comes to renovation.
It's well functioning infrastructure.
The man will tell you about an internet facility, tell you about modern laboratory and all of these things. And you see government where taxes being collected struggling as though that it was built on charity and the support not coming in any longer.
Yeah. What we're doing? We turn our economy into the hands of strangers. To the extent that they decide they dictate to us what they must sell. We should be a part of it. Liberia. How the country can say, yeah, we import the rest of our people, but waiting for people who involved in the rest to come on when they get all the price down, we catch our time in handling them. You see, it's very important. We have to focus on ourselves. Before we build 1 mile road, we got to wait one country to get our money before we build a road. Why? Before we build one school, we got to wait to send 1 aid before we build a school.
And how many high-rise buildings do we even have in Liberia? How many buildings are you seeing in Liberia? How many of these buildings are you see with elevator? So many people, they will tell you somebody have never ever climbed a step before so easily. So many all of the time, the steps will not be more than a story. Few steps enter the building, next thing they only lift. Some people will usually climb the step because they see it as a main exercise. But
even to accommodate our physical challenge.
Physical challenge people. Even the investment we're talking about. How many of our physical challenge? So many going to vocational school, going to university, have graduated. But we talk about these things. These are some of the folks who are unemployed. They're part of the unemployment rates in the country. But we don't look that way so easily.
You gotta go tell flow when the person reach in wheelchair, who employed when you reach up here.
Yeah.
But when the means was provided, has been provided, like talking about the lift, they can go to work anytime.
You talking about 24-hour electricity? The man gets there anytime. He in the lift, he going up, he's down, he's moving.
After the knockout, you have seen even people who are physically challenged. They get down from their car, they put their wheel down, they ride, they go, they come out, they put a wheel behind in the vehicle and get in the vehicle and move. It's happening.
When we don't address our infrastructure challenges, we will continue to have problems.
We should make ourselves aware.
We'll just keep people robbing us. Because almost like that's why you see the people can make determination. They can tell us what they want.
Yeah.
We don't have, they laugh at us. We got the resources, yes. Do we have the ability to turn it into something positive for the country? Maybe. But we look to people. Now we finish asking the United States to do a survey to see on the issue of our mineral. Even sometimes when people come to this country to go and do their feasibility study, sometimes some of the places we send them, those places are uncomfortable. There is no lodging that comfortable enough for them. But when you go, you say, I want representative, get one name motel. Only because you feel that other people can play will sleep. Or that the minister get out or hotel, that minister building, I think. You don't have to government putting that structure down.
Even the county, some level of counties are rich with resources. They proceed from there, the county embark on projects. This is why the government is talking about the local government thing. But you know, it's just far from reality because we see that our leaders, those at the local level, say, and to the higher level, are not even focusing on those things.
Let me tell you
the attention now on them.
You know, one of the things I'm keeping about under development like this, maybe it might not be all, but most of the counties in Liberia, the caucuses, the county authority, the local government officials and everything, they are divided on the issue of how contracts, how mineral agreement are signed in these counties. They are divided. Look at Grand Bassa right now, and also one thing with them.
Yeah.
The noise between them, the other person calling their friend BM, the other person calling their friend bro, the other person say you bro, the other person, you go to Bakolu, they talk about the issue of yellow machine, PMC chair did this one, the other person here to account, the other person going to do this. You know, you just turn around. How that in the midst while you're doing that, the people, whether they're stealing, you know.
They're stealing.
You don't already have a kind of equipment to know. You don't have the kind of equipment to know whether how to detect or to scale some of these things. We got some of the people, and sometimes like I was saying, sometimes some of the jobs you got, people are qualified, but you know what happens? They never have a hands-on orientation, practically. So they go tell about it about. You see? Let me tell you, and this is something that we see that the government said needs to do. In the last week plus or over, you know what the Nigerian government has done? The Nigerian government have sat and critically analyzed the educational program. They said Nigeria right now have banned the establishment. They have bound the establishment of new university, polytechnic, tertiary institutions. For the next 7 years, there will be no new one created. The ones that are existing must meet international standards. No, and the person they're not sure of that. Because they got like the government saying before the Senate or they got like 200 applications already for new ones. But they have sat down and have seen it, they say no. Because they notice that it might cause future problem and will create unemployment because graduates will be put out and they will not be qualified. Because the infrastructures are not providing, for those institutions are not giving what is required. Because you find a man, you have never been into a modern laboratories. No lecture hall for people, for lecturer to do extensive research, internet facility, 24-hour electricity, maintenance of the infrastructures. So what the Nigerian government said, the Federal Executive Council, the meeting was presided over by the President, Bola Tinubu. So you see, so what they said now, so the Minister of Education said we will no longer, they say the proliferation of universities, tertiary education, or polytechnics in the country is training the economy, because you know they got fund. This is what Nigeria can do. They also, the government got a fund set aside by one other council, the education, I think, trust fund, something like that, to give subsidies to other universities. That you do not charge certain fees. And in Liberia, you see students just the other day they complaining about the fees being charged at the African Medical University. With these institutions are just created in this country, government not giving most of them, government not giving them subsidy, so they charge any kind of way they want to charge. They don't have the structure, the space. You got university, you got parking lot. You know, and even just checking our universities that we got here, most of our universities, if I'm not we don't have hostels for students. We don't have hostels for students. Like you see on Fender campus or Cardinal in Bond County. But how many universities is there? Like the university that they got a hostels. Well, there are students who will be on a dormitory. There are folks who will come, you know, they come to school normally and go back. But we're still struggling with some of these things. So what the Nigerian government said, they said no. And they say it's leading to disastrous deterioration of infrastructure in the country. So now they have instructed the fund that the fund now should be used. Okay, you know, they call it Tertiary Education Trust Fund. You know, the Agency for Nigeria Tertiary Institution. Right now, they say they are to only use the 2025 funding for the rehabilitation of existing infrastructures and not the construction of new ones. When will we reach the level? One man go see one big unfinished building, he start printing it, he said, the man open university there. Yeah? At the end of the day, you put on these people, oh no, putting on graduates, these people still do not beat the job market. We should be asking ourselves too.
We are just far from achieving a lot of things in our country, only because the way in which or the prioritization of a lot of our activities have made us refer way beyond.
Yeah, now the post said there are over 200 bills seeking to establish more universities in the National Assembly. Currently at the National Assembly, but the Minister of Education has said he's thinking in Massen, but the president now Tinubu is saying, you know, for 7 years, let's review, let's look at the ones that are existing, let's make sure it's functioning well. Therefore, he said we must attract foreign students. How many universities in this country got foreign students here? We're not saying they don't have it, but somebody put up a foreign student. Our university don't even check on them. They pay normal fees. They pay just any other librarian. The man will tell you, oh no man, I can tell you about because I was in Ghana, I was in Nigeria, I was in Sierra Leone. But some of these people are foreign students. We saw how Council of Wabuti they do all this. Went to school as a librarian, became a lawyer as a librarian, got huge job as a librarian. Our folks on the other side are looking at some of these things. It's time to look at these things. Let's look at the University of Liberia. Look at all of the different community colleges, the technical schools, government opening all of the counties. Go and see the structure. Go and see what there. But we're putting on graduates. The other day, the president in Bond County, right? The Bond Technical College are putting on students. At the end of the day, oh, the unemployment rate. But the structures. The only thing you hear reportedly, you hear say, oh, Lower County, the Lower County Community College, the huge corruption allegation there with the president and the other person. Oh, Bond County, the city. Oh, you go to the other side, oh, the city. The other person can't account for this. We always want to compete with people. We just want to put structures down, and with the structures we put in now, are not structures that will attract people. So when Cesar can let go,
no more activities in the country goes off.
And
Major institutions, government houses closed.
Ambassador, the major component, one major factor for generating
what's about
revenue is energy.
What's about the time that is left from 6 to the next morning, 6 o'clock? You don't think government can generate money?
But we wouldn't know.
They must wait till the next day, 8 o'clock, before government offices start to open.
So what will happen?
If you want to pay taxes, they will wait at that time.
And what will happen in Bangladesh right now, because government cannot provide subsidies to most of the universities or technical schools that are existing in abroad right now. They charging fees that government can control. Because if government is saying we'll give you this amount and you can exceed in your fees because we are providing subsidies to you. But the Commission on Higher Education, it's not just to give people permit to go establish. So you have to take your time to do the perfect inspection.
Yeah.
Look at the facility. Look
and
at
also monitor and evaluate the institutions.
Yeah, look
that they are living up to the purpose of which they were established.
But they got standards, they got requirements. But yet, because somebody feel they say somewhere they respond to get license, they can get 5, 10 hours that person say their manager will continue.
So it become money making thing now.
Yeah.
The only thing about money you can make, once you making money, they keep into the position.
Before graduate 1 year, it takes you almost 10 years before you put out another graduate. The school will close after some time, you get the school open.
You see, currently, even in ministry of education, there are a lot of schools operating in this country that are not operating with the guidelines of the institution. But they're there. All in the name of the one help government to educate people. And librarians are getting so much populated. Other areas. Even like talk about graduating people from the tertiary education, colleges around. They put graduate, you cannot accommodate them. No job. No means they can stand up. But everybody go and sit down.
Sometimes just in the name, they just keep the people while they get the next year I have graduation. They threw the people on up.
Well, they pass where they are qualified, they qualify. Just put them outside so new one will come in.
Yeah.
So it's all about just money making thing and not about helping the society. You put a huge burden on the society.
Teaching the man agriculture or forestry, you cannot even carry the man somewhere for you to go see to know the type of trees. Teaching the man agriculture, you cannot carry the man to lab to get to see the type of soil. The soil kind. What kind of crops can be planted to this place? Can be planted to that place? People are geologists in this country will let the yellow BB names, go and see them. They cannot identify minerals so easily. You get some of the equipment to work with.
It's just about getting the paper, that's all.
Yeah.
There is no concern about getting the papers.
So, that's what somebody said. We show the people, yes, because the schools are putting out, when the school put you, I mean the school trusts you.
Yeah. But it's another thing to perform.
Yeah.
Whether you are able to perform, that's another thing. Because when we are having vacancy for position, we're looking outside for experts to come in the country, whereas we're having people that are being graduated in our discipline, it becomes so much appalling. You see? We need to focus on those things that can build us. But on the overall, in Barcelona, yes, some of the news from institutions say what they like, government develop. But practical wise, you see, we're far from reality. It's just sad for this country. We're just far from it. You will see a whole school year go by. Someone will graduate from 12th grade and I cannot even compose properly. You see the present payment sheet that they are never even going to school.
Then the worst of all, you will see that instead of focus on some of the major issues that are confronting the land, we got muscles for political tackles. We got the energy on the political field. You can tackle, you make marshal, all of that, you strike out, you know how to get it, but how many political institutions in this country will sit with level-headed people, and there are a lot of sound people in political parties in this country, but to sit and say, look, we direct, let's change the narratives. Look at the state-run university, see how long it took them to settle this matter. About the issue of the school being reopened, the issue of settling the faculty arrears and other staffs. We keep going back, then one problem just continue. So what is the problem that we will have that problem cannot be solved?
You have all of the experts there.
Yes. Then you got people who already have gone through the wards of university, we are sitting in key position and making key decisions for the country. But yet, they were there, I don't know how many years ago, no problems were there. They left into the larger society and are stakeholders in the direction of our country. But no problems still exist.
Yeah.
But that's the same thing we were saying earlier. That's the reason we're still being faced with the issue of infrastructural challenges. We still go back to the same.
A lot of them were students. Now they are instructors, administrators. We can still find.
Some of them have left there, have left that place, have not even gone by the roads to the ambassador position. They have gone to be minister, they have gone to be senator, they have gone to be representative. But those problems that while they were there and marching, the students are still there. We're not saying these things will not happen, but it's just almost the same things that have been taking place last time.
Yeah.
So what are we applying now with the education? Because some of you people went to the University of Liberia, you graduated. You're sitting on the committee on education, but the school they're struggling.
Yeah.
Right opposite your office, you find your alma mater is just opposite. So where you can hold the curtains and look on the university campus. But it will take thoughts, you said at your school you went to march on the campus, right, to have altercation. You got that energy.
Anybody stop you, they will feed the whip.
Anybody started like you go and have lunch. Then somebody in government will be telling you about the university. Yeah? You go there, see student center, you have a bar, the air conditioning on. There's food being on sale. People buying food $5, $10, $5. You see that? You see 3-4 story buildings. Okay, now one man, when I'm one person get out of university, when one person get out of technical school, but the university of Alberta, they will go on straight before they paint. They go on straight before renovation take place. Yeah.
I think we're talking about bathroom, the facility being on campus. Those are the things we're struggling on today.
Electricity, internet, water, transport. Look, they're margin. But if some government entity can go to NTA and start renting buses from them to be carrying their employees away.
That's a shame.
But it has to blackmail people in this country. You find people who are looking all around to hear what the other person say. And you might not just be in government sitting in one position. They take it, they start to run with it. What content you spoke, how it should be addressed, we leave it. You hear the other person, go and mess with the one. The woman said the one. We gotta stop these things. We pull people down too much in this country. Even on the level of politics. Sometimes we fight people not because you see the person being nice, and the next thing you feel threatened by that the person want your job. The person won't be this person. So you will do everything to blackmail, you do everything to say the negative things. But when it comes to the real issue to have it addressed, we don't have the way out. We don't have the way out.
You know, the only thing is, before the people get to the position, they have all the ideas. But as soon as money starts to pounce out from the area, the idea lost. The idea lost. Yeah, now the we're talking about how this issue about 1 million, it was not received. Now that my plan is talking about 550,000 to address critical issues. They want to talk about, imagine 100,000. They talk about to settle on the overdue bathroom renovation across the campus. On that, you want to tell me the other university the bathroom? They should be one of the most cleanest areas in the building.
I can see it will be a point in time, probably. The university will sit with the faculty of the technical people and with government and sit with the student leadership as well. Maybe they might just go back to where students will have to be paying their tuition.
Yeah.
I think the operational cost of running the university seems to be a problem. With the free because whether this thing was properly calculated, we still don't know how, or whether it was just something so politically motivated, and we thought that whether we sat and were able to identify, source of income to cover up for some of the fees that are being paid by the students, and that kept the university going. Not that they never had problems, but there were a lot of other things that were being handled, buses and other kind of things. But because if government will say this thing free, we know that government is fully in the know that she has the capacity, she's in the position to fund the running of that institution. But if this will continue to be a problem and causing serious problem for our young brothers and sisters and causing problem for the nation, because sometimes when the guys are protesting, people who are moving and got no say or business into what happening over there are caught up into it. Tired, you see somebody who got his vehicle, they're using gas to see tire and say that when he's supposed to power is already set up blitz. So they say we don't want to issue a dress. We don't want to issue a dress.
Yeah.
Then tomorrow we'll go back to it.
We talk about 251,000 to settle semester 1 arrears, salary arrears for the joint faculties 2024-2025. We talk about 199,000 towards outstanding payment for recent vacation school semester.
Yes. We couldn't solve it.
So we're not solving any problem.
At the end of the day, the Pope bring everything and just put it down on the table and say, yeah. But if you run around and be insulting people, blackmailing people, and all of these things, you gotta stop this thing. Let's start putting people down. We tear our friends, our young brothers apart too much in this country. You look around, somebody goes, oh, the other man said they want. The other man said they want. And you just start to run around wanting to tear somebody apart. Let's address critical national concern, critical national issues. Yeah. Some of our media colleagues, you do these things, you blame people in government, you blame people in the private sector. You say all sorts of things. What do you want to achieve? Those issues are issues that must be addressed. The folks are going to school, and the environment must be conducive for them. Those people who are sacrificing, who are lecturing, putting all of the thoughts together, must be taken care of. They also have their families. So at the end of the day, most of our private universities are operating like that. No consultation, no justification. They raise fees. You go to see it because it's for one big building now. You still do not see the facility. You still do not see the money worth it for charging people of some of the fees. So the grade schools too have taken it. You government can get subsidy. You're not getting subsidy, so for that reason, the people doing their own thing. You go Federal campus, the students are struggling. You go to private university, the students are there relaxed, not running around with chairs. A lot of the private universities, how many of them you see buses around, but the students go, we got it on the half feeds. They go up. Yeah. So government need to put our thoughts together. The Commission on Higher Education, Ministry of Education, that what you people can be able to cap it, what the Nigerian government have put into place. Imagine what our population in our country. We got existing structures. Can we improve on it? We got some that should not even exist. Can we shut it down? Or it's time the government start to give subsidies to all of these recognized vocational, technical, or tertiary polytechnic universities in this country. To ease. Every year, the UL, every president that comes there will come under some pressure. No student want the other person to resign because they themselves too, they put on a conducive environment while they're being used by people from the opposition, black or outside of government, and think that's the only means of giving attention. Well, it's there for them, but they deserve better. They deserve better. What are they paying? Government say free. The resources are also into what? Taxes being collected. Directly, indirectly, they are also paying as well. They deserve to have a better environment in and learning smoothly. The time for private institutions in this country to be better than the government should be over now. How can government institutions be competing with private institutions? When in other countries, private institutions are competing with government because they know government got the bigger part of the cake, the national cake. Government collects revenue. So you will not compete with government so easily. But one man will go and bring 3-4 containers filled with drugs, with computers. And they put it in the computer lab. And you go to government-owned run universities or community colleges. You say the students are faced with difficulties.
And I don't know what we're doing. Because even Liberians that are out of the country that they bring them in to solve these problems, we still face with the same problems. I don't know where we're going now. Is it that Liberians are facing sincerity problem? They are so insincere to themselves? But they can't tell me that the country is not generating money. The country is generating money.
Or is it that probably we do not study the environment? We're more concerned about the portfolio than getting the job done?
That's one issue in Ambassador. There are a lot of the folks in this country that got the degrees, but they don't function. But we're looking at degree. We're looking at degree. They don't function. This going to need loyal and patriotic citizens. Not just people who get degree. Because a lot of folks here, there are a lot of folks in this country that will put in the position. Their families are not in the country, Ambassador. They are working here and supporting our people, supporting all the economy. How will we grow? Then we want to take that money from the economy and give it to us to build our own. Then they take it and send it back to their family in those countries.
Then we go with post.
We're not sincere.
We post on the social media of our kids abroad going to obtain a master, going to obtain a PhD. But you got to come up with your children while you use in the sun and the rain, and you acting like so much in love for them. But
and I can remember one of the presidents during his campaign tour said that ministers will live in this country. They will have to go to their counties before traveling out of the country. They must be able to know the problems that the country is facing before traveling. But I'm not seeing that. How will you be here as a minister, as a deputy minister, as an assistant or director of some other head of institution, your family living in a different country? I don't see that. You here as a director, but your family living somewhere else. The money you're making here, you're not spending the money here. You got to send the money on that side. What's that? We have to change the narrative. We have to, because it will also help to break down those infrastructure in this country into institutions, because your families are not here.
But they so rest in peace. We just saw similar something. Let's be honest. And people still try to discuss it. That was a statement who served this country for a long period of time and died in active service. The Minister of State. He was buried in America.
Yeah.
The man said, oh, like the man family, then you saw that.
The
question.
Yeah.
He asked, they said, no, that family issue.
Then why you're not working in America, you're working in Liberia? Wow.
And that's a statement.
Yeah. You working on that side, you died. So what's about this country?
We are not even fighting war. We are not fighting war.
We were too far.
People are
giving our things.
Some other countries where they say the person, or dictator, or the family starts struggling and fighting. Ain't nobody will farm means.
Or they say someone I pray that man, but they can't come home, so you have to bury him somewhere different. I don't know. You spend all your life, you say, working for the country, and as the saying goes, where your treasure is, the way your heart will be. So your heart not here. So everything you're working on, whether to civilize something, you will not do it. You see, the reason why you are seeing in Barcelona, you are seeing Liberians are building their own structures. Liberians are making their own life because they know they are all their treasures. They are in this place, so their heart is here. But our leaders are so deceptive, Ambassador. We bring people to power that they are building other people's economy and leaving this economy here. It's so deceptive. You will see that the amount of property that other people can out of this country here, they pay money for other economy. They are not paying even half of that amount here. They may only have renting one apartment because he alone here, but he renting whole compound because he has a family on that side.
I go read on Africa slowly assets recovery and see how other countries are recovering things that people who work in previous government or working in governments in Africa, things that they own. The people are paying lobbyists. They're paying professional investigators to investigate some of these things. Countries are benefiting, right? Some of them, those things are gone back. Some of those things have been auctioned. Some of those things, the assets and other things been frozen. They bring it back to give back to the community. But we stay here, you will hear one man, I don't know what the justification can come from. And it's sickening from the belly. Yes, by the man, I need a man stole when he building.
Yeah.
What sense in that? They think the man built for you? You justify him stealing that at least he stole, but he at least he did it right. What's the difference from stealing? Stealing is not about where you took the money.
And besides, even burial in Basel, the man, if for instance, is a senator, goes out, use the people, story out there, and come back. The county doesn't have a single property to their name, but that man has a lot of properties. We don't investigate a lot of them. We don't investigate them a whole lot.
But the university,
yeah, right now, Grace Kwan is now calling on the Senator Sir Joseph that he is corrupt and pledges that she will compete against him in 2029.
She even pointed out Honorable Thomas Farr.
Yeah. But what made him richer than us, Ambassador?
She said, you know, you can't use the Liberian people to enrich yourselves. You take resources that belong to them. You know, she was someone look at.
I listened to the man. He said he went to several companies, factories.
He said
So you come in now. When you come on the side, you will not bring it in that for you and your family. But the country gets nothing.
But the University of Liberia send a shot of bosses and things. The faculty or the administration need to sit with one of us and say, let's see how you can strategize that. Take out to the people so we can get some buses for our students and our faculty.
But because our need carrying, you carry the country.
Because if you listen to him, he said this strategy man talking to how many billion years.
Yeah.
But and he talking to how many provinces. One of the areas they went, the employment in that identical province, you're talking about 30 million.
That's far beyond our.
You know how many towns we can count all of that?
You see. So, even when you get 3 of those of companies or factories here, or 2
in other countries, people will launch investigation into somebody.
These are areas that should be launched.
Forming a political party, we see you moving with a foreign national. What's the discussion? Nobody knows. But these are things people with that overload.
The fact that you are using our story for the wrong reasons needs investigation. Because you are not just somewhere without portfolio. You are going out as a state man. You form part of the first branch of government in this country. You carry our story. And when the people see in a year when you are telling them they are enthused to help, they are coerced to help. Now they help Liberia. When you come back from across there, it becomes a singular issue now. It becomes what you are lobbying for, not the county. Tell me what can the county boast of that year? Mosorado or Lofa County or Grand Bassa County has owned, and all the counties in this country say here. This thing was because these leaders were in this place. This one came, the county is owning this thing.
And listen, so some of the deception. You listen to him what he said. He said, when they finish, when they take over, Election Commission already finished giving in the certificate. There will be some executive member from the party.
Yeah.
They will send it to Singapore to go ask the people what they did to get to where they are. You've been in government for a long period.
We have Singapore, so Singapore might help now.
No.
But it becomes a singular interest.
But yes,
when he becomes president.
You've been in government ever so long. You're in the opposition. You begin a member ruling class party.
Yeah.
Senior member for the ruling class. Now, you go to opposition because you left the party. You now got the idea. You not send people yesterday.
Yeah, when you are in position, when you are in position
to funnel.
As ruling party, you cannot. As ruling party, you cannot help with that idea. Is that idea? Is it the exception ambassador? Like I've seen, it will give this president hard, and I'll give other presidents very much hard time in this country. People keep the idea until they are into power.
No, until they want something.
Yes.
Not into power. They keep it until now you say no one man supposed to control party, but you start there.
Yeah, and you saw parties. You were part of a party yesterday.
That now you talking.
That now you know about this. You know better ideas, gentlemen. Let us not make this party like one.
And that's the reason we are not being able to. And people who support the other side, you might be throwing jabs up.
We will not solve.
Yeah.
We will not solve. It will come our time.
You see,
all the ideas that leaders have. Oh yeah, let that person come to power. Let you come to power. They keep it in now.
Now,
we're waiting for him to fail. Then they bring that.
You just watch it. Now you'll see people from the ruling party or from the opposition black will be telling you that these students at the University of Liberia that are raising the kind of a genuine concern. You hear people tell you they use.
Yeah.
That somebody using them. But when I look at those things that have been placed on the table, we will cover it with politics.
Yeah.
We'll cover it with politics. And that's the reason we're not being here. We'll cover it with politics.
Yeah.
We'll cover it with politics. And that's the reason we're not being here, able to address some of the real issues in this country because we think everything is political.
And the first time when the man showing about this channel, man.
And imagine,
and later on he said,
imagine telling us that they may be coming to Liberia for
10 years.
Okay, you got to know. Time you marry men now, you got to know.
No, Ambassador, then you know my question? The 10 years, 6 of the 10 years were in your time when you were a part of a political institution. Your political party took power in this country. Oh, this country.